everyone, it's Dawn and welcome back. Welcome to our subscribers, both new and not so new, and welcome to everybody who's watching, whether you're a subscriber or not. We're ploughing through our A to Z of Christmas, and today we're on H, which is for holly wreath. So I'm going to show you how to make a holly wreath, and I'm going to give you two suggestions as to how you might use it. So we're going to cut our wreath first. This time I'm going to use dies. You don't have to use dies if you don't want to. You can find two circles or two circular objects and draw around them, or if you're really clever, you can do it freehand. So what we'd need to do, if we're going to use dies, I would suggest lining them up so that they're reasonably even. It doesn't have to be exact. So what you need to do is line them up, and when you're happy with their position, tape them down. Now I would suggest taping them down both sides because this side might shift. So what you do is you tape it down like that, you run it through your machine, and once you've done that, you will have a piece that looks like that. And there you have the start of your wreath. Now, there are two, as I did say, we've got two ways we can do it. We can either make it with one side of holly and use it on a card, or we can do what we're going to do for this particular project, and we're going to make it into a hanging decoration. So you need a piece of, well, I'm using red ribbon, so any length will do, whatever length you want to do. That rather depends on how long you want your hanger to be. So mine, I would say, is about 8 to 10 inches roughly, and I've just folded it in half and tied a knot. Now I'll show you how to put this on so that the loop ends up at the top. So what you do is you thread it through, and then you twist it under there like that, underneath your hoop, your wreath, and then you put the loop through the knotted end. Don't do it the other way around. So put the loop through the knotted end like that, and then the knot will be hidden. Well, by the time you finish this, you won't even know that there's a knot there, or your recipient won't know there's a knot there because it'll be covered in holly. So that's the start of our wreath, our holly wreath. So once you've got it that far, then you can start having fun and building it up. Now I'm using stuff in my stash that I've had for about 3 Christmases, and I really need to use it up. So I've got felt holly, I've got fabric holly, I've got some little fluffy red things for berries. So you can use dies, you can use stamps, you can hand draw it, you can do this however you like. But I'm just using up things that are, quite frankly, clogging my drawer up and stopping it from closing. So it's about time I had a sort out. And a good way to have a sort out, folks, is have a good old crafting session and just to use it up. So we are going to do that now. So if you're going to do it for just a single side, obviously if you're going to put this on a card, unless you particularly want a loop, you wouldn't put the ribbon on. So you put that flat onto a card like that. So just so that you don't have to watch me do this twice, that's why I've done it first like that. But we are going to turn this into a hanging ornament. So we're going to do that. Once you've done it one side, we are going to turn it over, and I'm going to use the same type of things. Now you will need a hot glue gun for this. And if you're using a hot glue gun, I would strongly recommend you put some scrap paper on your work surface, because you don't want hot glue going on your work surface, especially if you've got a good table. So I'm going to start, it doesn't really matter where you start, but I'm going to start with the ribbon. And I'm just going to cover that bit there. It doesn't really matter how you do it. And I'm going to keep on going round. And then I've got 3 different types of holly. So I'm going to show you how I put it together. So we're going to do this bit together on camera. You'll see how I did the other bits very, very shortly. I have got some glue sticks on standby because I know I'm going to need some more. So if you do, that's another tip, guys. If you're going to do this project, especially if you're using felt or fabric holly leaves, have an army of glue sticks handy so that you don't run out. So it just saves time. It doesn't matter if you do run out, especially if you're not videoing. You can just run and get some more, but it just saves time, especially if you're batch making them. So if you're going to be doing a craft fair this year, if there are any craft fairs about, I think there are this year, these would be great sellers for craft fairs. So if you've got stacks of stash like I have to use them up and sell them at craft fairs. So we're going to carry on. Oh, all these bits are sticking to the glue. Never mind. So we'll carry on anyway. I'm just going to put one more glue stick in a second. So I'm just going to put that down like that, grab myself another glue stick, and we'll carry on, as they say. Oops, that came out. So if it's just a new glue stick, hold it like that and squeeze and keep on holding it until it holds itself. Once it's in a little way, it'll hold itself quite nicely. So don't be worried about it. If it comes out, and it's going to come out again, eventually it will just sink down to a position where it will hold its own, which it seems to be taking a bit of time to do today. Oh, that's not what we wanted. Oh, there we go. That's okay. If it does do that, just put it out before it has a time to stick in the wrong place. So now we've done that. That is taking its time to stick. I'm going to bring these other shiny ones in, and I'll tell you how I'm going to do, or show you how I'm going to do this. I will get this thing to stay. We're going to put our glue, our hot glue, onto the felt area this time. And we're going to take our shiny holly leaves and we're going to put it between a gap. So we're going to put one leaf between a gap. And we're going to do that again. This glue stick will stay in eventually. There is another way around, you can do it, but there is a risk that it will stick in the wrong place. So I think it's just about holding its own now. So again, we're going to put a leaf between a gap. And we're going to do that all the way around until we're happy with the effect. So that glue stick is finally holding its own, which is wonderful. So again, a leaf between a gap. So we'll carry on doing that until, as I say, we're happy with it. So let's just keep it in shot. That's always a good idea. Bring it down a bit. So we'll keep it fairly close to the outer edge. I have got a few more down here. I probably won't use all of them, but I shall just keep going until I'm happy with the effect. Or until I get bored with it. Whichever comes first, though. You don't get bored with it, actually, because you see it building up and it's really good fun. And if you've got a bit like that that's sticking up, especially if you're going to hang it, I'd advise that you just put a blob of glue and pop it down. So I'm going to put one more there, I think, and put it in that gap there. And again, we will just put a blob of glue, just a tiny blob, and stick it down like that. And I think we don't need many more. I think I'm going to put, oops, we've got a little berry sticking to the glue gun. They'll come in a minute. I'll put the berries on in a second. So I'm going to put one there, like that. And I think, do you know what, guys? I think that's it. I don't think we need to put any more leaves on. But what we are going to do, we're going to jazz this up a bit and put some berries on. Now, these are quite small, so I'd suggest you hold them as far at the end as you can. Just put a tiny blob of glue and stick. Because what you don't want to do is put your fingers in the hot glue. Because believe me, it hurts. I've done that and it really does hurt. So we're just going to put a blob of glue. How few or how many you put on is entirely up to you. But we're going to just carry on decorating this with some little fluffy berries until we're happy with it. So I'd suggest going round. Don't try and balance them out because you'll be going backwards and forwards and it'll end up looking like it's got measles. So just go round, do it as you go. So as it's going round, you'll see it building up and you'll know if you think you want any more. So I actually think I want one on the outer leaf there. So we'll carry on doing that. We're nearly done. So I probably won't put too many more on, but just a few, just to complete it. And I'm going to put one there. I was just looking up at my screen to make sure that you can still see, because I'd like you to see it being built up. So there we go. We're nearly done, guys. I think I'm almost happy with that. So I'm going to put one more there. You can go on forever and then you suddenly realise you've done too many. But I'm going to put one more on this outer edge there. And we are going to call that finished. So you can carry on forever. But there you go, guys. There is our hanging holly wreath. So that's plenty of H's there to keep you going, isn't it? So I hope you've enjoyed that. And it will hang. I have got a little hook underneath my stand, but if I hang it, you won't actually see it because it goes off screen. So I won't do that. I'll just hold it up like that. Well, actually, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll keep it flat, then you can see it. And if I push it out just a tiny weeny bit, you can see it even better. So I've just pushed it out a bit for you. So there you go, guys. That's our H for holly wreath in our A to Z of Christmas. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, you can either keep one side flat and pop it onto a card without the hanging loop, or you can do as I've done, and you can put holly and berries on both sides, and you can make a hanging holly wreath. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed our H, and I hope you'll enjoy tomorrow when I come back and we'll be doing I. So pop back tomorrow for I and see what we come up with for that. And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and thank you for subscribing. And I will see you tomorrow with the letter I in our A to Z of Christmas. So until then, thank you again for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. Take care, have fun, and as always, happy crafting, or should I say, happy Christmas crafting. See you soon. Bye-bye.